Dear children, welcome to the third session of chapter 8. In this session, you will be learning some of the built-in functions to manipulate strings in Python. The first function is the len function. Look at the example. S is equal to Python. Print len of s. In this, len is the function and s is the string object which contains the string Python. The len function returns the number of characters stored in that string object. So look at s. There are totally 6 characters stored in s, in the string object s. Therefore, this print statement will give the output as 6. The len function returns the number of characters in the given string. Let us see another example. S is equal to welcome to Python. What will be the result of len of s? Since len function returns the number of characters in the string, here s is the string. So you have to just count the number of characters in s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You have to count the spaces also because space is also a character. So in this string s, there are totally 17 characters. So the len of s gives the result 17. The next function is the ORD function. S is equal to uppercase A. Print ORD of s. ORD is the function and s is the string object. So this print statement will give the output as 65. So ORD function returns the ASCII value or ASCII code of the given character. So how to know that 65 is the right answer? For that we have to look up the ASCII table. So in this table you can see uppercase A has the ASCII value 65. So the ORD function can be used to find the ASCII code of a character. The next function we are going to see is the CHR function. Here I have taken a variable a and stored 67 in it. 67 is an ASCII value. Print CHR of a. Here CHR is the function and within parenthesis a is an integer object. Why is a an integer object? Because I have stored the integer 67 in a. This print statement gives the output as uppercase C. So the CHR function returns the character of the given ASCII code or ASCII value. Once again, you can look it up in the ASCII table. For the ASCII value 67, the corresponding character is uppercase C. So you can use CHR function to get the character for a given ASCII value. Next we will move on to the capitalize function. S is equal to Python. Print s dot capitalize. So this print statement gives the output Python. So what does this capitalize function do? The capitalize function returns the string with first character in uppercase. Look at the string s. Here the first character p is in lowercase. In the output, the capitalize function has returned the same string Python with the first character in uppercase. And also you have to note the fact that this function does not affect the original string which is stored in the string object? Yes. The original string is as it is, as we have stored in this statement s is equal to Python. The function has only returned the string with first character in uppercase. So this is because of the fact that a string is immutable in Python. And also recall the format of the len function. First you have to write the function len, and within parentheses you have to give the string object. Look at how the capitalize function is used. Capitalize is the function name and followed by the parentheses. And here the string object is placed in front of the function. And in between there is this dot operator. Dot operator is also called as the membership operator. So the format of using capitalize function is by giving string object dot function followed by the parentheses. So it is different from how we have written the len function. Here the string object in len function is within the parentheses, whereas for the capitalize function the string object is in front of the function, and after the string object there is the dot operator. So s dot capitalize. So here s is the string object. If you have given some other name for the string object, for example, if I have stored the string Python in a string object a, then the function call would be a dot capitalize, because here a is the string object. Even I can directly replace the string object with the string itself. Look at this. Instead of storing Python in a string object a, I can directly write the string object before the dot operator. Python dot capitalize. So here Python is given within quotes because it should be in the form of a string. So these are the ways in which you can apply string functions. So we will move on to the next function, which is the center function. S is equal to Python. Print s dot center 10, hash. Look at the output. So you can guess what is happening here. This center function has centered the string Python, that is centered the string which is stored in s, and with the total width of 10. Can count here in the output, the total width is 10, and in the center the string is placed, and there are some spaces in front and back of the string which is filled with the fill char. Here I have given hash as the fill char. So in the output you can see hash hash Python hash hash. So the total width is 10. Python occupies 6 positions, 6 places, and the remaining 4, they are equally distributed on both sides, filled with the hash symbol. So the center function returns the string centered to total width and filled with fill char. Look at the format of the center function. First you have to write the string object, that is s, then dot operator, and then followed by the center function. And within parentheses there are 2 parameters. First one is the total width, comma, second is the fill char. Here the fill character must be within quotes because it is a character literal, character constant. Character constants are enclosed within single quotes. Okay, look at another example. The same one. Here just I have changed the total width as 11. So what is the output? You can see the string Python is in the center with the total width 11, and the Python occupies 6 places, and the remaining 5 places are distributed on both sides, but we cannot it cannot evenly distribute, so it gives 3 places in front and 2 behind, and fills with the fillchar asterisk. The next function we are going to see is the count function. S is equal to banana. Print s dot count NA. Here NA is the substring. NA should be given within quotes. So as the name suggests, the count function will count the number of times the substring appears in the main string. Look at what is stored in S in the array. The substring NA appears twice in this string banana. So the output of this print statement is 2. So what does the count function do? It returns the number of times the substring appears in the main string. Here the substring NA appears twice in the main string S. S contains the string banana. You will see another example. Now I want to find s dot count NA, 3. Here NA is the substring and 3 is the start index from where it has to count. So look at the array. In the array, the count function has to look for the substring NA starting from the index 3. So starting from index 3 onwards, NA is present here and NA appears only once within this range. So the output of this print statement is 1 because the substring NA appears only once starting from the start index 3. So another example, here we are giving 3 parameters for the count function. First is the substring NA and 1 is the start index, 4 is the stop index. Now first we have to fix the start and stop indexes in the array. So 1 is the start index, and here in the parameter, if 4 is given, in the array you have to take as 3. So you have to look in the range 1 to 3 in the array. You have to count for this substring NA. So here NA is there in the string banana. So the output of this print statement is 1. Another example, s is equal to banana, print s dot count TA. Here I have taken the substring as TA. You can see that TA is not present in the string s. It is not present in banana. So what will the count function do? It is not present, which means this substring TA appears 0 times. So the output is 0. So when a substring does not appear in the main string, the count function gives the result as 0. What will be the result of s dot count A, the character lowercase a, s dot count A. So look at the string s in banana. A is appearing 3 times. So s dot count A will give the output 3. Therefore, the format or syntax of the count function is s dot count, and the count function can take 3 parameters. First one is the substring, second is the start index, and third is the stop index. Start index and stop index are optional. Next we will move on to the find function. S is equal to banana. Print s dot find BA. Here BA is the substring which you want to find. Whether BA is present in string yes. Yes, it is present here. So this find function will return the index of the substring where it is found, where the substring is found. It will return the index. So the substring BA is found at index 0. So the find function will give the output as 0. So print s dot find BA gives 0. So here 0 is the index. Remember that. It is different from count function. So the find function returns the index of the first occurrence of the substring. So we will see another example. I have taken the same example, but now I have given the substring as NA. S dot find NA. Here you can see in the string banana, NA is appearing twice, 2 times. But find function returns the index of the first occurrence of the substring. So where NA is appearing first, it is appearing in the index position 2. So this print will give the output as 2. So here 2 is the index number. We'll take another example. Print s dot find NA, 3. Here NA is the substring and 3 is the start index. Which means you have to start finding for the substring NA starting from the start index 3. So from start index 3, you can see NA is present in that range. And in which index it is present? It is present in the index 4. So this print statement will give the output as 4. Here 4 is the index of the substring. Next, same find function with 3 parameters. S dot find, first NA is the substring, 1 is the start index and 4 is the stop index. So from 1 to 4. So here in the array, it will be start index will be 1 and stop index must be 3. So in the parameter, you have given 4, means in the array you should take as 3. So you have to look for the substring NA in the range 1 to 3. In this range, whether it is found or not. Yes, NA is found. The substring is found here in index position 2. So this print function will give the output as 2. Okay, we'll see yet another example. S is equal to banana. Print s dot find TA. Here TA is the substring. Find TA. Whether this function is able to find TA in banana. No, it is not present. So here the find function will give the result as -1. So what is the meaning of this? The find function returns -1 if the substring does not appear in the main string. Okay, another example. Print s dot find BA, 1, 4. Here BA is the substring, 1 is the start index and 4 is the stop index. So once again, you find the range. So 1 is the start index and since there in the parameter it is 4, here in the array you should take as 3. So from 1 to 3 in this range, whether BA, the substring BA is present. No, it is not present here. So this find function will now return -1. So what is the meaning? Even though BA is present in the string, here it is not present in this range. So it is present out of the range 1 to 3. So that is why here the find function is giving the result as -1. So when will the find function give -1? It will return -1 if the substring does not appear in the given index range. So the find function will return -1 if the substring does not appear at all, or even if it appears, if it doesn't appear in the given range, it will then also give -1. Therefore, the syntax of the find function is s dot find with 3 parameters. The first one is the substring, comma, start index, comma, stop index. Here, start index and stop index are optional. Next, we will move on to the isAllNum function. So here in this function, all stands for letters of the alphabet and num stands for the digits 0 to 9. So from the name of the function, it is clear that this function will check whether the string contains letters, digits, is all num. Look at the string S. It contains step 1, that is, it contains letters and 1 digit. So this print function will give the result true. So isAllNum function returns true if the string contains only letters and digits. Look at another example. Now I have taken the string object S to contain only letters, STEP. So what will be the output of this print statement? Once again, true. So from this we can understand that the isAllNum function returns true if the string contains only letters. What if the string contains only digits? S is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the string contains only digits. Print S dot isAllNum. Now also the output is true. So isAllNum function returns true if the string contains only digits. Okay, look at this one. S is equal to hashtag. Here hash is a special character. What will be the output of S dot isAllNum? It is false. Because special character is not a letter or digit. Now the string is goodbye. What will be the output? False. Why it is false? You may think that goodbye is made up of all letters. No, there is a space which is a special character. So only when the string contains letters, digits, this function isAllNum returns true. Otherwise it will return false. So now we will consolidate about isAllNum function. Returns true if the string contains only letters and digits. Like in this example, in this string, value 2, 3. So it contains only letters and digits. Only letters, like the string hello. Only digits, like the string 2911. This function isAllNum returns true if the string contains only letters and digits, only letters and only digits. When will it return false? It will return false when there is a space, that is when there is a special character other than letter and digit. Here I am, there is a space. Here there is a space. And here in the string A1 and A2, here and, that is a special character. So it will return false. So now we can define isAllNum function as it returns true if the string contains only letters and or digits. So only letters and digits, or only letters or digits. Otherwise, returns false. So the next function is alpha. S is equal to step. Print S dot is alpha. So alpha means alphabet, letters of the alphabet. Does this string contain only alphabets? Yes, it contains only letters, S-T-E-P. So this function gives true. So returns true if the string contains only letters. Is alpha function returns true if the string contains only letters. What will happen if the string contains letters and digit? The output will be false. If the string contains other than letters, this function returns false. Now the string S contains only digits. What will the is alpha function return? It will return false. Look at this example. What will the print statement give you? False. Because there is a special character in the string hashtag. Therefore, is alpha function returns true if the string contains only letters. Otherwise, it returns false. The next function is the isDigit function. So now the string S contains only digits 1, 2, 3, 4. So the output is true. So the isDigit function returns true if the string contains only digits. Look at the next example. S is equal to step 1. Now the string object S contains both letters and digit. So S dot isDigit will give false. Next, S is equal to hash 1, 2, 3. So here hash is a special character. So S dot isDigit will return false. So the function isDigit returns true if the string contains only digits. Otherwise, it returns false. The next function is lower. So look at the example. S is equal to good. All the characters in good are in uppercase. Print S dot lower. So the output will be good with all the characters in lowercase. So that is the meaning of lower function. So the lower function returns the given string in lowercase. Look at another example. Here S contains the string hall in which all the characters are already in lowercase. So this function S dot lower will return the string as it is. Hall with the characters in lowercase. Okay, look at this example. S is equal to ball. Here the character B is in uppercase. So S dot lower will give the same string with all the characters in lowercase. So the lower function returns the given string in lowercase. Next is the upper function. So S is equal to stop. So you can see that all the characters in the string stop are in lowercase. So print S dot upper will print the string with all characters in uppercase. S-T-O-P. So the upper function returns the given string in uppercase. Here S contains good. Good is already in uppercase. So you will get the output as it is. S dot upper gives good with all the characters in uppercase. Next we will see the is lower function. S is equal to good. print s dot is lower. The output is true because all the characters in the string object s are in lowercase. So is lower function returns true if the given string is in lowercase. Here the string ball, in that B is in uppercase. So now the output of this statement will be false. So is lower function returns true if the given string is in lowercase, otherwise it returns false. Next is the is upper function. Here the output is true because the string s contains all the characters in uppercase. Is upper function returns true if the given string is in uppercase. Now it gives the output as false because in this string good, all the characters are not in uppercase. Therefore, is upper function returns true if the given string is in uppercase, otherwise it returns false. The next function is the title function. S is equal to name list. Print s dot title. Look at the output. So the title function returns the given string in title case. What is the meaning of title case? The first character of each word in the string is given in uppercase. That is the meaning of title case. So here in the string name list, the characters N and L are in lowercase. And in the output, you can see that N, L are in uppercase. So this is how title function works. The last function is swap case. Swap means interchange. Here the string object s contains the string hello. Print s dot swap case gives the output hello. Look at the output. Here s has h in uppercase. In the output h is in lowercase. And ELLO are in lowercase here. And in the output ELLO are in uppercase. The swap case function returns the string by changing the case of each character to its opposite case. Look at another example. Here the output is Tata. So in the string, T is in uppercase, A is in lowercase, T is in uppercase, A is in lowercase. And in the output, the opposite has happened. So the swap case function changes the case of each character to its opposite case. Uppercase to lowercase and lowercase to uppercase. In this session, you learned some of the built-in functions to manipulate strings. What are they? Len, ord, chr, capitalize, center, count, find, is all num, is alpha, is digit, lower, upper, is lower, is upper, title, swap case. Thanks for watching, children. Thank you.